I'm Lee Moy. I'm the Assistant State Secretary, and I hold a couple of hats, and I would like to have some more assistance and help and other people who, how should I say, want to learn what we do. You know, one of the big things I was hoping to do from all these different things that we're providing is that State SIR is actually doing something for everybody too. You know, we listen to you, we try to pay attention to what's going on, we try to keep you up to date. We like to be on the positive side of things. If we could, we'd go out to the branches. And we've now, because of the Leadership Summit, found another way of actually doing training without having to travel, which saves not only a lot of time and discomfort maybe from your family, but also saves us a lot of money because of the cost for the rooms and the food and that kind of thing. Another thing I want you to know is that this is sort of a demarcation. I'm in swimming upstream for a while, trying to get the Leadership Summit going. There was quite a delay because of Form 20 wasn't completed in the past. And so it turns out that drudgery or long-lasting incomplete created a gap of training. So we put it on a fast pace and got it caught up. But then there was some other things that I wanted to work on. So I decided to do training year round. So that's what this is about. One of the important reasons this is a demarcation is because I feel we caught up. And now we're looking forward to the nomination of new officers. And some of you guys that have been officers for a year and a half are probably saying, me too, you know, I look forward to it. So here it is with the first slide. Derek said, let's get something that's got a little splash to it. So I hope you enjoy that. So go ahead with the next slide. Thank you very much. As we get to as you get to your reopening, how many of you guys, I can't see you guys, but how many of you guys have reopened so far? Have you already started to have members come to the luncheon? You know, sometimes I wondered if we could do it with a little more pizzazz, you know, a little bit more fun, or let the guys sit and chat and talk and kind of get to know each other once again. Maybe have some fun activity or prizes to give away. So you can always jazz it up. You know, it doesn't have to be SOS. And I think one of the things I like to see is having more greeters to welcome people back, because it isn't really all in the same thing, okay? So let's go back to the slide on join the team. Okay, so joining the team. Well, I don't know, everybody has their idea what a team is. And so if this was more of an interactive, I would say you have your idea of a team. But I will tell you this from my experience, if I didn't have Derek out of Kenjo, Sammy Lum out of Kenjo, I mentioned already, and Kent, I would have never had and Andy Danver, I would have never had the success that I've liked to feel I had without the computer host. You know, I have a problem finding the internet highway. I can't even find the ramp, but I still can do Zoom meetings. So thank goodness. I think the future for SIRS and attracting younger men is also the idea of being social media and also doing Zoom and the like. So this is something that's not going to go away even if the pandemic does. The nomination committee, I mentioned earlier that one of the reasons we're meeting today is because there is a shortage of nomination chairmen. And that's something today the regional directors right through the area governors, we're having a direct talk with you today, and especially the big SIRs, what's going on and why can't we get more nomination chairmen? It's a very important job, as you can gather, and for your succession. The secretaries and treasurers, they're our backbone. They're doing the finance to keep the books in order. They're the foundation of a lot of the stuff that we do. Even at the state level, there may be vacancies and openings. So if you have Roy, thank you for being here. He's been there on the board, I think, 3 years as a treasurer. You know, you have to start thinking about longevity here and letting other people have the opportunity or get trained and learn a lot more about those kind of positions, including the secretary. He's been there at least a decade, okay? Directors and ramp. Now, I used to be a director, so I know kind of what it is. It's kind of the eyes and ears, but a lot of times I don't know. I don't think I hear too good. And so I think when I noticed that sometimes people assign them a ramp position, they don't explain it. They're good at delegating. But I think a person that's new, like some of you, need to know what's going on here. Why are we pushing? Why do we want ramp? Well, I mean, that's something that we'll go along here and explain. So I don't know what your team would look like, but I believe in a team. Rick Kendall, our vice president, is a strong believer in a team effort, squad, in a team effort where everyone's working together and we're working in unison. So if we understand what the message is, we can deliver it. So, you know, having a good team is very critical, important. I happen to like advisors. When I was the area governor, I always sought out someone in the area, one of the big sirs, because I bend their ear a little bit. I would pass things by. I've done that with Rick, with Stu, and the rest of the guys. Rick Sale too. I want to make sure what I put out there is going to hold water. So I always lean to other people to make sure they peruse the information. A lot of you guys are in SIRS because you actually enjoy it. You know, you actually enjoy the camaraderie that we have here. That's kind of why I want you to be invited to what we do. So you're part of the team as we speak. The BEC, believe it or not, during the pandemic was the most active activity in all of SIR. Not even golf at the time was shut down. So you guys are now in middle management, and we'd like to see you assist, help out, and develop your own team. Okay, let's move on to the regional director. Now, I'm not going to read all of this, but if you can see it, I don't know if it's broad enough or wide enough, if you can see it at all. I'm trying a hard time reading it myself, but one of the things these are the things I downloaded from the training manual, and they talk about the regional's position, the regional director position. One of them is the area support. Go back, please, the area support. So you do need an area support team. So that's why I'm not bringing something new up. I'm just reminding you of some of the things that were already in there. It also mentions in the second bullet there about the ramp. So the ramp is an important part of what we try to do with SIRS. Not all branches have ramp. And so then I think some people need to double down as far as duties and responsibility. Area of annual meetings. You know, it's important not only to go to the annual meeting, it's important to know how the democratic process works and how people get elected and how motions are made. So there's a lot of importance about going to the meeting. There's also importance of having meetings to be done. So when you have meetings, it's important that you meet quarterly, regional directors with the area governors. Did I lose the slide? Okay.
I'm trying to get this where it's supposed to be, Lee. Bear with me.
Sure. And by the way, if I'm talking too much,
just go from the beginning, Rick.
Okay.
And then you can.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get away. There you go.
Now, did anyone want to interrupt me at any time about, you know, like the team? If you, what do you comprise it of? I'd be willing to listen. I think we all are here to share and learn from each other. Okay. Okay. So here's the cock-a-doodle-doo.
I can't get just the show the main picture up.
Mm-hmm. You had it going
Well, it had two on it. So I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Rick, try
Yeah.
start presentation, and that'll start the
Slideshow,
slideshow.
top
Yeah,
bar,
right there at the top.
the top bar. Slideshow.
Go over.
Yeah, click on slideshow on it.
See, it's on, I can't see it because the screen
It's on the
shared.
top of that screen, of that window.
It's blocked for the sharing screen.
Oh, drag it down, I guess, a little bit so you
Keep
can
it.
see
Keep
it.
going.
There you go.
This is the part I'll be edited.
And then you just use your left arrow or right arrow to go through the slides.
Select go from the beginning.
You're probably better to discontinue the screen share and then start your presentation.
That's what I did. That's what I did once. I'm going to stop it again. I'm sorry.
Rick,
Yeah.
if you let me in, I've got a copy of it, so I could put it up for you.
All right. Go ahead.
At least I think I can. It's there, I think. How about that?
There you go. You got it.
You can see it? Oh, I'm off. Okay. Okay. So thank you very much. As you can see, probably some of this will be edited. This is like a nice clean copy. I can see the area support team and the ramp once again in the annual meeting, as you can quickly peruse through there. Now, just in case you didn't know it, especially if you were new in SIRS, and there is an area training that be done in September, October, right? October. So this is where you need to get your Form 20 in so you know who the officers are in each of the branches, okay? The BEC officers, the branch executive committee. So for those that are new, this is an important first step. So what's important before that is today's meeting and tomorrow, where we decide we try to assist you in deciding who your officers are going to be this year. Okay, so then moving on down, you are going to do the branch specific training. That includes the secretary, the treasurers, and the like, okay? And so that's important. Now, the slide got moved over now, the area governor is very similar to this, okay? Once again, it's the same to do, and also includes the forms that are most important. Now, one of the things I did was, as an area governor, is I met as an area governor. In the first meeting, I asked for the membership chairman and the treasurer to appear from each of the branches. And then I had the treasurers go around and then explain every part of what they did with their form. So that way the big SIR who maybe and little SIR who maybe not had experience in those areas kind of understood a little bit about what their jobs that they did, the membership chairman and the treasurer. So there we got a more of a comprehensive understanding. But you're going to have to do training in the autumn, okay? So that's important to get the guys together. Rick Kendall was my area governor and regional director, and he helped me put our area training together at that time. But one of the things that I came away was the importance of these forms. People didn't understand that. They thought that it was just a job. We had to do it. It didn't mean much. It didn't matter if it got there late. Hello, Roy is here today. He can tell you how important being on time is. And I salute him for his patience and understanding. But please, let's see if we can, turn those on in time. Also, the forms are important because for the database, then we can have a graph on how how your branch is performing, so we can red flag it if it needs some sort of assistance in a direction. So that's why the forms are in that sense important. Let's see. The quarterly reports. Yeah, you know, there was a time, and I like to revise it a little bit, is that when the regional directors did talk to the area governors and back and forth, and then they went back to the board, the regional director did, and gave us a little capitulation of what's going on and what areas are need attention. So that is something we've done in the past. Okay. And as you know, there's an election process for these coming positions. We're ratified today to have Dale Decker. He and his committee went through and did all the bylaws and their standing rules and leadership. You know, they did a lot. So when you see Dale Decker, give him a big kudo. At the bottom of the picture, you can see where we did a Zoomer activity. And so the Z and the Zorro was part of the Zoom. Are you Zooming with us? Go ahead for the next slide, please. So the area governor, and you can read this on your own. I don't need to read this, but the most important thing is, one of the things I enjoy is being enthusiastic, being positive, and being, I don't know, I just feel the energy of being around great guys when I meet them at these meetings that we had in the past. Everyone is positive. Everyone is supportive, and everyone is busy doing their job. So I commend them for being on the board. And we're all trying to be ambassadors for CSRS. The most important thing that sticks out in the second paragraph to me is sharing the information coming from the state board. You don't know how important that is, but it's also kind of strange where some of the branches don't send out the information, or for whatever reason, it has to pass their eyes. You know, this kind of stuff is from the state board. It's not something personal and private. It's something that needs to get out there. The COVID situation has really never changed with CSRS. You know, we've always believed in the two things, the protocol and you know, the statement, the resolution. We try to stick to that. Now, the waiver did come along, and that is the newest change, but that's going statewide, national-wide, actually, because of the insurance. Go to the branches. It's important. I told myself to go to the board, to the branch, but don't sit there. Actually, go there early enough to listen to the BC, and then also, if you have, sit down and eat with the guys, and don't have to be with the officers, and get to know the vibe of the place. Also, I got up and made a speech. You know, at each time I made a speech at each of the branches. And I think that's important, that they know that I'm representing the state, and I'm real proud of that fact. And you should be too. So go to the branches, feel welcome, and participate. At the bottom down there, I don't know how you organize your file. I've red flagged so many things. I have about 170 red flags. I got to come back with a better system. But the file box is something, and folders is something everyone should be creating to keep abreast of what's going on. Next slide, please. Okay, and then in summary or thereabouts, you know, you look at, and we're concerned about the at-risk branches. Right now, as you know, during the pandemic, there's been a lot of people that are, we're not sure how the branches are really doing. I understand that some branches are actually picking up membership. But there is a concern about the at-risk, and they've developed a matrix of how important this all is and whose responsibility and when it is. But I like to flip it around the other way and try to think of it as, let's find out new things and better things that we could do to be on the positive side of growth and development. So how can your branch stand out as an outstanding branch? Now, I happen to recognize, as the area governor, recognized a branch because one of them raised $1,500 through donations and gave it to the workers at the cafeteria. So, those are the kind of positive things. Another branch did it with mass temperature and separation and they just did everything. And I positively praise them for I had a good warm feeling of how well that and important their branch is to them. So let's look at the upside too, not always on the down, and let's see if we can get more positive and promote that. Regional directors, it's imperative to meet quarterly with your AGs, and we like to hear it at the state board. How is it really going at the branches, And the area governors, you should be going out to your branches. One time, I know usually there's a courtesy lunch, but just don't go there for the lunch only. And also, what I also did is I took pictures and made a flyer and sent it over to Sir Happenings. So those are kind of other things you could do to make your presence known, and they're feeling more important that you're there for a reason. I think anything else, and before this, you have to have your training done by October. So keep that in mind. The more we communicate, our past president, unfortunately, or to be, Jim Johnson, his one major thing he really wanted to work on was communication. So let's keep him in mind when we try to communicate to one another how important Sir is to you and how important it is for the rest of who we serve. Please, next slide. Okay, so it's good. Yeah, go ahead back to that was to break up the next section. Okay, so yeah, consensus not only of everybody, but of each other. So it's good to talk to each other occasionally and find out if we have agreement and understanding. Go ahead, please. And yeah, so now we're going to get into the games that we've been doing and the activities that we sponsored during the pandemic. Oops. Every so often I seem to go off the air. I don't know why, but
We're hearing you
We're
continuously.
seeing you and hearing you.
yes. Okay. Yeah. Here we go again. Yeah. Well, just to remind you, we are the social activities for men and co-ed at that. And I got to say something about Stu for having proclaimed immune by June. Boy, is he a soothsayer or what? So, he kind of guessed it on the spot. Pretty good job. Please, next. Now, the games that we talked about are right here, and there are many games that other games we could have done. I thought I hit a home run. One of the important things was, if I got an author to show up, I thought that was fabulous. And also a guy that grows his own wine and has his own cellar and it makes, top flight port is fantastic. We all could be doing horseshoes or cornholes. We've been talking about cornholes forever. And so, there it is. And thanks to Derek being able to edit and eventually put this on for everyone to see. Mahjong, we talk about diversity and the like, and then we say, okay, let's find activities. Well, we really didn't. So I was able to luckily find Ron Rizzo, and he was more than happy to explain Mahjong. Of course, you can download your own information and learn a lot from it. But we're going to start a Mahjong group, I think, at least in branch 8. Go ahead, please. So here's an activity. Michael Lee, he was good enough to come not 1 but 2 days. He did a fabulous job. He was very flexible. The guy, look right there at him. You wouldn't guess how old he is. Do you have any clue how old he is? He's 72, and he's in great shape. So I have a shape, but it's of a different kind. So, but we average around 20 members per session. My idea was to get activities to the smaller branches so they will have new activities. So when they open their doors, they say, hey, look, we got new activities. So these, even though you missed them, they're still being downloaded so that you guys can see them on the cloud. So this is important, and I'm sure Dean and Derek will work together for us to have that information out there. So why not? We're lucky to have people like this within SERS to serve. Thank you. Another thing that we did, don't forget, RAMP is comprised of the R, and this is recruiting. So the recruiting we've been looking at, and Dale, I also wrote put together a different oath, a modification of sorts, and the inclusion of diversity. So when we started looking at recruiting, we need to start looking, I would say, outside the box, but more or less we should be looking at our population and be more representative of what's really out there. And as you can see, diversity is something right now we seem to lack. We have small pockets, and I like to reach those small pockets through games of Mahjong, and we have an African American. I like to see a group form, and an Asian group form, and a Hispanic group form. So that way we can find ways in how to reach these different groups through their eyes and their assistance. So can you see the difference between the dance and being invited to the party? Okay, so this is the new wave of things to happen, not only because of Black Lives Matter, but also the inclusion of all peoples. Nothing better than that in California. Please. So I got together, we had a diversity week, and in that week, Branch 116 was already inviting Major General Yi, who works for the, I want to say the CID. But anyway, then later that week, I also did a diversity forum, and some of the members here, though actually were my assistants also behind the scenes as hosts. But the idea is that we're going to get together, and we're hoping to reach, if you have Chinese, for example, in your branches, we welcome them to join in and try to find a way to reach more diversity, maybe through the eyes of the Asian group. Same thing, by the way, that is kind of done differently through the diversity group in Branch 116. That's more of a full non-ethnic group, and they're working towards, believe it or not, the same conclusion, which is how to reach minorities. So as you know, there's been a lot of problems with right here in California, right here in the Bay Area. So we shouldn't turn a blind eye to it. We should let people realize that this is a safe haven, that SIR is a safe haven for this. And on the fun side, we don't always get diplomatic or political or whatever. We want to do some things for fun, like going to Lock. So if you'd like to go visit with us and sit down and have a good Chinese lunch. Okay, please. So one of the conclusions of working in the diversity was recruiting was how to form groups. So of course, we're using Zoom, get together, and then you form your committee as such. Go ahead, please. By the way, I wanted to point out to you, that diversity forum that I had was very eye-opening. Unfortunately, it was the only one we've never recorded. We had an Italian, just first generation coming here from the country, if I'm not mistaken, and he's in SIRS, and he was talking about the bias and prejudices too. So when we say, minorities, we're talking about anybody that comes here as an immigrant, not knowing and feeling their way through. And some of our big SIRS, I think even in Branch 116, is a generation or two once removed from immigration. So one of the things that Branch 116 does is they really have taken the whole idea of diversity and broke it down. And now they're at this point where they're looking at newsprint, military rag or papers, alumni notices, city inclusion committee, not cuts. So they're looking at that, and they're looking within their branch and looking at RAMP and how best they can use RAMP and get their members to help with some of this promotion. So that's what they're doing there. They're coming out with a 3 folder. Yeah, thank you very much. And we're trying to follow the website now using Patch and Nextdoor. Go ahead, please. So I took their information, I put it in a Venn diagram because I guess that's the way I think, and I just kind of lumped them up in a different way. As you can see here, it's the same thing, just reconfigured. Any questions right now or anything about what we're trying to do? And I just want to make real clear that diversity has different directions, and I'm trying to bring one direction and they have another direction. We're all really going in for the same thing in the end. We're trying to pull people together and be inclusive. Okay. So you're welcome to join their discussions on Branch 160. They meet about once a month. All right. And you, of course, you can start your own. Here's Calvin Wong, who was on the picture earlier of the Chinese inclusion, as opposed to the word exclusion. And he wrote this piece up. It's not canned heat, though. It's a melting pot. Okay, I wish I could give myself credit for the artistry. Okay, also part of RAMP is what we do is publicity. And so I gave a session, and I wish everyone had been at the session because we also have acknowledged the many great guys, including Derek, Stu being there, and we went all the way back as far as we could, the ones that are still present. Dwight Sell was being the most elderly, and he just recently stepped aside. I was kind of glad to do something special, that we had former big presidents do a little spiel, and we also acknowledged Jim Johnson, who did pass. But getting back to publicity, what you can do is go to the website, and at the very bottom, you can click on there. It says apparel. That's where you find where it is. So I was reminding people that with a beginner's mind, maybe you don't know where all this is. And this here, you just click on at the bottom and it'll assist you. So there it is to be had. Okay, go ahead, please. And then once you get inside it, I just give you a brief summation. I picked out a shirt, and then you were able to pick your size. And it's not one size fits all, but I will tell you that the size does fit very well. It's not snug, it's comfortable. And then you see the price and so on and so forth. You can have it custom made, your name on it and everything. Please. Okay, and then one of the beautiful things about being in SIR is that I had an opportunity, and I offer this to anybody and everybody. You have an opportunity to use your time wisely, to use your time and use your mind. And so one of the things I like to do, volunteer is I like to give back, by volunteering. And you guys are doing the same thing too. Today should not feel like drudgery. It should not feel like you're going to the salt mines. It should not feel that way. You should be feeling that, I'm here to help others and I'm glad to be part of this great program. You meet these great guys. You use your mind. You can be creative. When I started out, just like Derek was saying, I had no idea I was going to use a computer, much less make flyers. And now I made a mask. And, I kind of half jokingly, I couldn't put a rooster on the mask. Sorry. So I came up with this. So anyway, and once again, it has our URL. Okay. Next, please. And so another thing I created, and I think this is, Richard Hockenbecker, is that right? This here is about shy of I want to say under $300 for the whole stand. That particular stand has a cross. There's a one with a flat, and there's another one with a spike. And you can have this type of banner. I designed one. We'll probably have it flying at the SIR office. And we want you to have one of these. This is great for golf. You go to golf, you stick it in the ground, and you play golf for 4 or 5 hours, and then you come back and have your cool beers or something. and then you go home, and for 4 or 5 hours, that's free advertisement. You can't beat that. So it's worth the money. Earlier, I mentioned about meeting with the treasurers. And what I did, I asked him, look, I see you did an excellent job with running the numbers. I saw all the revenue. Then I look at the expense. You got zero. You spent nothing. Now you got anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000, $9,000. Can't you spend $300 on banners and masks and personally buy shirts and have a Sir Day where you wear shirts? You know, that'd be kind of cool. So there's something to be said about advertisers. You guys are the best billboards. All you have to do is wear a mask or get a license plate thing and it has Sir on it. Just something that validates who you are and what you represent. Okay, so would you consider that? Okay, whoa, what a good time for this. Personal example. All right. Oh, by the way, I like UCLA, but the Warriors are going to win tonight, so just thought I'd throw that in there. Okay, let's go ahead. So let's all join in, okay? We got to start a new year. We could do a restart and say, hey, let's make it happy, make it fun. And I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt because aloha, and I want to say, I just want to be, more positive, more happier, and welcome people. And also, I also want you to feel welcome to help me. I think each region could have a trainer because you're going to have to do training anyway. And then why not have a trainer so at the region that could also work with myself? And who knows, one of those could be the future trainer. Also, I think each of the regions should have a activities chairman. And I think it could be centered around baseball because I know you have Stockton Ports, you have a baseball team in Modesto, you've got another team in Fresno, and you got a great team, a AAA team, I believe, in the River Cats. San Jose's got their team. So see, you guys all could develop teams around activity around baseball and then create more activities by including more area activities. So, and then each of the branches should be working on recruiting always. So keep in mind, we need a pool of candidates to draw from. So the larger your team is, the greater the pool for all of us. So what would your team be made of? What advice and who would you get it from? Who's your go-to regional trainer? Let's go ahead for the next slide, please. So early on, I tried to get this system to work, the buddy system. We're all trying to give each other a hand and try to work on the succession. But the best thing that ever really happened comes from the branch or the area training, because then the information is all what it should be from the state position, okay? But still, training each other is important. So please do what you can to help out. So I hope you can picture yourself here getting help anytime you need it. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but there is an area trainer position. I'm sorry, area activities coordinator position. So it says in the manual. Next, please. Now, I've said a lot of different things, so I kind of wonder if you know what you would like to do this 1 year. What particular thing would you like to focus on of the ramp? What area do you feel that you need to work on with, maybe with meetings or going out to the branches, communicating? What one area can you really say to yourself that you would like to do to help Sir and help your situation? Because I get good help, and when I get good help, I get good results. So I want you to understand that it's important to get good help. So it's always your move. Okay, thank you. Next. And I've been harping on this a little bit, but several people actually told me that the best job in Sir is the area governor, believe it or not. So here I am saying there is life after being a big sir. So for some of us, it's drudgery to go through and do the chairs, but really it is a pleasure of going to the other areas and getting an eye full of what's going on elsewhere. It's really not that difficult. It's a lot of fun, and it just, you feel like you're part of a bigger unit. So if you guys haven't already considered it, we're looking always for more area governors, and so please be the next man to step up. One of the things I also want to point out, I didn't point out earlier, was that I had and you may consider when you reopen, or as you maybe do a reopening, is to have an activities fair day. I had a thing, what I call a gauntlet, where there was tables, and on both sides, the guys had to walk through the middle. And on both guys were barking about, hey, join our activity. And they had clipboards and signing up people. So you find a way to get people to sign up for these things, and then they'll be the head of it eventually, and they'll probably eventually do more for SIRS. So trying to do some kind of activities fair. Thank you. Next, please. So earlier I was alluding to Dean, and so I came up with this flyer and the things that you need to know. Everyone that's been a veteran realizes the importance of the schedule of operations. We need to adhere to that. The biggest thing is turning in the forms on time. And let's see this year if we can do anything else. You've heard me say this many, many times through the Leadership Summit and the like. Let's turn those forms in on time. Let's be responsible. And then you won't get barking orders from upstairs. So let's do that. And even if you don't have a ramp committee, you may start thinking about one of the legs so that you can start developing more ramp. I want to also point out during the ramp, I didn't mention membership, and I wanted to spend some time maybe towards the end here talking about it. We spent a lot of times with the babies, the newborns, the new people coming in. But once they get in, we just sort of like don't pay nearly the kind of attention that we should. Members like you are important, and members that are not you but are not here are important too, but they need to be more active and volunteer. But some of the things that we could do is make them feel more important through rewards for getting them to do things, and also have some fun days while we're enjoying our luncheons. Maybe wear Hawaiian shirts, wear red shirts or crazy shirts. Just have some levity with this. Enjoy yourself. This is our golden years after all. Okay, next, please. And, this is a SpaceX, and, you can't run it without reading the manual. So in this way, it's my alluding. I was sitting here watching the SpaceX take off in the car. I think it was in the air in space. And it's got a good mileage there, by the way. And I don't know if it had solar panels, but, I was inspired to make this little flyer. So, things like this come up, and I listen to and pay attention to the news. I got to say, after all this time with pandemic, isn't that a relief we didn't hear about the Middle East for a year and a half? Of course, now the pandemic's nearly over, and guess what? Front page news again. So in review, go ahead, please. Oh, yeah. This is the part I went, Dale Decker. Dale?
All right, this is, I'm in the process of updating the SERVS leader guide. In the last few pages, I've put this flow chart in here to help people, including myself, navigate the SERV.org website. When you bring it up, you won't see all these, but you'll see the headers here and some pictures all, but look at the top. Let's see, did my arrow work on this screen?
Yeah, we see your arrow.
Well, I can't quite see her. But it says about SIR, and below that, it has a number of things, which what is SIR, welcome to SIR videos, join SIR, so on. And as you see a header there, it says SIR branches with an arrow to the right. means that if you click on that, you have another drop-down box. So what I did on this chart here is show you what is in that drop-down box is branch locations by city, branch location map, branch websites. Okay. And then if you go to the next one, you say, well, let me look at branch info. Do you get this one, which is a whole bunch of drop-down boxes. The first one, the membership reports, and in red, and I'll color coded these for easy viewing. Membership reports, branch data, and so on. Blue is a training, which Lee talked about. Here's all the leadership subjects. Yellow is the policies and procedures. Black is the ramp, and resources is all the Zoom stuff. So the other way you can read is go to this chart, find out what you want by looking through. And if you want bank accounts, right here, you see bank account, just go backwards. You know it's yellow, go to branch info and branch info, pick on policies and procedures, and you'll automatically come bank account, and you can go exactly to it. And sorry, I just ate lunch. My stomach's a little bit upset. But anyway, let me get the next chart. I got blocked out. Roy, okay, all right, there it comes back. The other one is region and area info, the same thing, the red, expand out regional director, area governor, job description, resources, again, leaders guide, ideas, tools, and old website. And I guess, Dean, we're going to drop the old website pretty soon, aren't we?
Yeah, for all, yeah, don't use it.
I don't use, all right, you want me to take it off my chart then?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
we're going
And
to take
then-
it off of there pretty soon.
All right, well, I'm going to publish this by the end of the month, so I'll drop it off by then.
Okay.
And it's out to the regional directors right now for review. And then the last one is this state info, which has a whole bunch of drop-down boxes. And this gives you the subject of every drop-down boxes in an easy visual format, so you can find what you're looking for. And that's the reason I did it, because I got confused a lot. Maybe it's because I'm Polish, but I got it out. I couldn't find different things, and I go back and forth, back and forth. Let's add. I'm just going to do a chart. So that is in the updated version of the Service Leader Guide. Will be out by the end of the month and on the website. That's it. That's what I got. Any questions? No
Yeah,
questions?
Dean, Dale, this is Roy.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing. I think it's good to have that kind of navigational overview. And it may even be able to be put out as part of the website. I will highlight the one difficulty that I've heard coming back from people is when I'm talking to somebody at a branch and I say, go look at your branch data sheets.
Right.
Where they get some information like their IRS number,
I
corporation
know
number,
what you
some
mean,
other
yes.
things they need for their banks.
Right.
They come across a thing that says you have to provide a user ID and password,
Yes.
and they're supposed to get that from their big sir,
Right.
and that isn't working. So what I'm thinking here is it's great to have the navigation, but we might want to indicate where there's a security envelope around some of this stuff so that people will know they have to get a user ID and password. And
Okay.
then maybe we can figure out how to incorporate that better into some of our training.
That would be a good idea, Roy. Thank you very much. Maybe Dean, you could help me find out, let me know which ones are this password protected, and I could indicate them on this chart. I know what he's talking about, data. It's under branch info, the red box, membership static, and branch data sheets. And I was in there the other day and looking at some stuff.
Yeah, the same thing for the state database under
State
resources. for the
database,
state.
yeah,
Yeah.
right, yeah. There's only certain people can get into that one, right?
Yeah, and that's a different ID and password than the ones that have the people's addresses and names and roster
Right.
information.
Well, I could add a little key code down here that says if you want to get into this, you have to contact Big Sur for that. For his branch, right, Dean? Oh, only for his branch. You can't get into any branch, can you?
Dale, this is Foster Kinney.
I was
I'm
asking
having
Dean.
trouble reading the yellow. And I wonder, when you get ready to publish this, can you find a color that would be stronger?
I'll take a look at that. Yes, certainly.
I think this is going to be extremely helpful. I've already gone in your drop down in the member statistics to get information that I'd like.
Yeah, well, it certainly tells you everything that's there without having to jump all over the place to find it.
Those drop boxes are very going to be
Okay, good. I appreciate
extremely
it.
helpful to everybody.
I'm glad you appreciate it. It's very useful to me too. Any other questions? All right, got it. Okay, I'll drop off. So,
Yeah, thank you, Dale.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
yes,
Appreciate it. So once again, we have like I say, a team of great volunteers and helpers. You saw Roy a while ago. Ron Saltgaver is the assistant treasurer. He developed the Excel for the Form 28. These guys are outstanding leaders that we have. And you guys, I want you to feel like you're part of the team that I talked about earlier. And you're certainly welcome to join this and be part of what we're trying to do too. Collectively, State CERT is providing this information for you. I think I had one more slide left on my.
Lee, before you go on, I wanted
Yes.
to mention that
Yes.
what Dale just covered, there's a similar, a different view of that same thing on the current website. If you look at the treasure chest on the main website that says browse the list of our topics and pages here, it's a different representation of exactly the same thing that Dale has provided.
is that right? I'll be darned. See, I never found it. I never found that at all.
Yeah, if you hit that browse the list of topics and pages here, the word here,
I'm going to look for it right now, Dean, and see if I know what you're talking about.
Okay, we have about 10 more minutes. I think I have one more slide and then I'm done. So can we give it back to Derek? And thank you, Dale. Dale is also quite a trainer, and he developed a fellow that is also going to be doing our big CERT training. I think Bob Turner is here in the audience, and he's had volunteered just in case you forgot, had volunteered to do the little CERT training. We're doing
Jim
this in
Walton's going to do the big CERT, right?
What's that? Yeah, Mr. Walton is his name. Yes.
Jim Walton, Branch 152. He's current membership chairman. He's a past big CERT. Outstanding in a big CERT job and outstanding as a trainer.
So after today and tomorrow's training, you'll have your nomination committee, and then you'll start really seriously working on your Form 20 as you follow the election, and selection and election of your officers.
Yeah, I might point out that what I covered a pitch for Branch 152 yesterday about the forms that are required. Form 20 is a legal form required because CERT Inc. org has to report to the state the officers of all the branches. That's required by law. So Form 20 is not a trivial matter. You need to send it in on a regular basis with any changes.
And we're lucky to have Bill Holly presenting it tomorrow. We're
That's
lucky
perfect.
to have him because last year he's an outstanding guy, and he served quite a bit as a regional director, and he's willing to come back. He also did in the fall. I'm sorry, at the Leadership Summit, he did the Robert's Rules of Order.
Of order, yes,
So,
that's true.
yeah.
Yes, he did.
We're having Adekenjo follow up on that, and also in the fall. My kudos to him. Okay, so this picture got a little messed up, but it's immune in June. As you can see, we're really getting ready to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So one more slide, I think, after this.
So did you say Bill Holly's going to present something about the forms tomorrow in just the
Yes,
Form
sir.
20? About the other
Yes, sir.
forms also? I'm going to send him my chart then.
Okay, and then Rick Kendall is also presenting. Rick Kendall's here today. And as you know, we always need hosts, so please assist us. Your support team, once
Sure.
again, as a summation of what I'm doing is we really do need technology. We want to be ahead on this. We want to also recruit younger. So we're going to see we're hopefully maybe someday be where the senior organization that actually supports computers and the like. You know, we're on the cutting edge. But yeah, so anyway, that's technology. Once again, I mentioned ramp. Maybe you guys can look at your branches and notice that things you gotta amp the ramp. And as I mentioned before, because of term limits and the like, and some guys have been there for a while, secretary and treasurer. I didn't mention also in this, but once again, I promote the idea of having regional activities coordinators, especially maybe around baseball, and also another one with the standing committee with CERT training. We could always use more help in that area. Pat Reed, you're here, and you're also in charge of a committee. Do you have anything to relate to as far as your committee work?
No, we've all pretty much got his help, and especially with your help on putting out the flyers and the different information in your training sessions. Most of my area and Foster Kenny can say that with him being here as one of my AGs, that it's all been really helpful, and we greatly appreciate your help.
Okay, and Dave Gonzalez, I saw his name here, and he's also going to be presenting, I think, next week. Is he here, and does he have anything he wants to mention as far as his, the image, the SIR image committee?
If not, Roy Hodgkinson's got his hand up.
Oh, okay, Roy?
Thank you. We're talking about Immune in June and getting back to activities. And I wanted to bring up the topic of helping branches get their waivers and copies of vaccine certificates managed. I just yesterday received a mailing from my branch with a self-addressed envelope included and 2 copies of the waiver form, one for myself, one for my wife if she's going to be a guest at some of our activities, and a request that I include a picture or printout of a picture of the vaccination certificate, send those all back to the branch so that we've got that covered. Obviously, there's a little cost there, but as we heard earlier, there's lots of money in the treasuries. So whatever the branch wants to do is fine with us at the state level, but as leaders, if they've got questions, concerns, or they're not quite sure how to do it, there are branches that have done it, and we should be able to provide some guidance to the branches so that they can get their members moving again on in-person meetings.
Okay, well, this will conclude today's session. I'm very enthusiastic and prepared for this, and I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Usually I like to have the way I like to normally discuss things is to go back and forth, but we didn't have that kind of time or liberty. But I do appreciate you coming today, and I hope today you came away with some ideas. Not so much more responsibilities, but more of how you can get support and receive support. We're here for you. State SIR is here for you, and I'm glad you're here for them, for your members. Okay. So
Lee, before we
sign questions.
Yes, sir.
2 people have got their hands up. Alan Jarvis was first, I think.
Okay, regarding the vaccination certificates, we're getting a lot of pushback from people who got their vaccinations through Kaiser or John Muir or any of the others that include the patient number on it. And they're concerned about privacy, about making a copy of it and sending it in. Number 2, I'm looking at an email sent out from the US government, Medicare, and it says, don't share a photo of your COVID vaccination card online or on social media. They're saying just don't give that to anybody. So I'm not, I expect that some of you folks have gotten some pushback from your membership on this. How are you dealing with it? How is the state SIR organization dealing with this? Because we've got a conflict here and we need to resolve it.
The way I saw it, at least in my branch, was the person like myself would take a picture of the card, show it from my phone to the person that's checking it off. And suffice to say, that seemed to do the trick, I hope.
Well, the point is that the government is saying, Medicare is saying, don't do that. So they're saying, don't do it. We're saying, do it. We need to resolve the conflict.
We're not saying transmit it on the internet.
Right.
We're
Yeah,
not
the stuff-
transmitting it on the internet.
It's staying at the BEC at best, at worst, I mean.
Well, you're
It's
taking a
not going
picture of
anywhere.
it, and then what are you doing with the picture? If you take a picture of mine, I don't know what you're going to do with that picture. I trust
I
you,
will-
Lee. That's not the issue. My problem is that we've got a conflict here and we need to do something to resolve it in a reasonable fashion.
I'm
And
not
trust
seeing a
me, it's in a
conflict here.
reasonable fashion.
I just wanted to respond that I don't see the conflict. The guidance from the government is don't share it online or put it on social media.
Yeah,
We're not
I
asking
agree
our
with you.
members to do either.
It's on your phone. That's the only place it is. You visually show your phone to the guy checking you at the branch luncheon or wherever.
Yeah,
Okay, so
or a
but
printed
now
copy.
we're saying that we need to show that vaccination card every time we come to.
No,
an
no,
event.
you'll have to show it once. He'll
Well,
make
then
a record of it.
how does the next guy know that it's been shown?
It's on a
You
chart.
gotta
It's on a
keep,
list.
you gotta
Checked
keep
off.
a copy, right?
No, he doesn't keep a
No.
copy.
He's got a
All right,
checkoff
well,
list.
we're- all right,
Checkoff list. He
We're not
checked
going to
off.
solve this in this meeting, and especially with the time that we have left. But I felt that I had to raise the issue. We had a very
That's an
lengthy.
issue, yeah. Just don't send it on the internet or anything, or don't send them a copy in the mail. You just leave it on your phone and show it to them. Or print yourself a copy, or show him your actual card when you get there. He'll check off your name on the list
Okay.
and you're done.
That's all.
Don't give him a copy. He just wants to see it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to keep a copy
He
of it for
doesn't want
himself.
a copy. Yeah, I wouldn't want a copy either.
The branch doesn't want a copy of it. It's a done deal. No conflict.
We have some
Any
other
other
people who want to
questions?
get their words in. Fred
Yeah,
Warren is next.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to follow up on that conversation. We've just had a large turnout for our bocce group that is now functioning, everybody there. And what we did is we got a waiver sheet, but we haven't
Mhm.
required a photocopy of the vaccination card. And I'm like the previous speaker, is that I don't think that's a good idea to have that on file at all, as long as you've got a waiver for the people recognizing it. Because we've got people too that are saying, I'm not going to sit down at a luncheon with somebody that has stated that they won't be vaccinated. That's something you're going to have to face once you start opening up the luncheons. Here in Solano County, we're still considered a red zone. So, we've still got some restrictions that we're hoping that they will be over when we schedule our first luncheon. And to add something to this, we just recently had a gentleman on a bocce team that had both of his shots and subsequently not feeling good. He went and got checked out and he is COVID-19 positive. So I don't know what's going to happen at our next bocce meeting on Friday because we've notified all those players of that instant. So I think that there's some things that we need to resolve, especially before we sit down with a luncheon. Our approach right now is we really don't want to get into a luncheon that has to space people out. But this issue about whether a person is vaccinated or not is an issue that we need to resolve. And again, I'll just repeat myself by saying, I don't see the need to have on file a copy of our cards. So I leave it to your guidance.
Well, this was the guidance from our state lawyer that it is in proof of and it must be seen. That's what our lawyer told us at the state board. So that's why the protocol is as what it is.
He needs
Okay,
to
well,
see-
that
he needs to
means
see it. He needs to see it, but he doesn't have to have a copy of it. He just sees it. He can check it up on a
No, but you're
checkoff
gonna have
list.
to, you're gonna
Verify
have
it.
to check, you're gonna have to check For an indoor activity, that means you're going to have to check everyone coming in. And when we have 120 people coming in for lunch, that creates a logjam.
But
Yeah,
you
that'll
can
be
do
If
it.
that's the only way we can do it, then that's what we'll do.
You
But
can
they
do
only
it.
need to
Okay.
do it once if it's on file for
And
that,
it's on
for the
file then.
share.
Putting it on file is the whole issue.
You only got one file for the branch.
Not a copy of it, but a
Verification.
verification that it was seen.
Yes.
Yes.
That's it. Okay, we
Yeah.
have, unfortunately, this is not the right time to discuss that. So let's take the next, there's like 3 more hands up, please. Dennis? Or,
Yeah, Dennis is next.
Dennis Pagren.
Dale Decker said it quite clearly. You show when you check in that you've had your vaccinations and it's just a check mark. Nobody has a copy of that.
That's correct.
document.
You
That's
got
all
it,
I
Dennis.
can say.
that's it, done.
Done. And the
Next.
activity chairman could check with the master, whoever has the master list or my guys. Vaccinate, say yes or no. He doesn't even have to have a copy of it.
Okay, we have any other speakers just that?
Nope,
would
all the
like-
hands
or
are down.
comment?
Oh, we're all
Mark-
speakers.
Mark
We're all
had his hand
speakers,
up.
Lee.
Okay, nobody else? Okay.
Is the same
Bill-
login for today as for tomorrow?
Say that again.
I'm sorry.
Is the same login for today good for tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. Oh, then thank you, everybody, for your help behind the scenes. And also, I hope it encourages you to join your membership, and everyone looks forward to the reopening. And I'm glad during this pandemic time, we were able to work with you to retool to get ready for the reopening. So everybody, show your card, sign the waiver, and we're on our way. Okay. So back to the normal again. All right. Thank you very much for today. Tomorrow, Bill Holly will be on board, and Rick Kindo will be on board, and Ada Kinjo will be behind the scenes. So thank you, everybody, once again for appearing at the Leadership Symposium.
Thank you.
Have a good day.